Okay, I know that we're jammed into a very, very tight space today. Where is my TikTok? So they are. So the TikTok here. Then I'll begin. Alrighty. So, um, welcome, welcome to the very first, continuation um, of the Cementon. Just adjust myself here real quick. Just give me one moment. There we go. So, welcome to the first continuation of, wait a moment. Can I say this for the fourth and final time? Okay. Welcome. It's awfully stuffy in here. Between the smell of the expo markers and everything else, it's very, very stuffy. So I just need a window opened. Might as well just open this one. It's no joke. It's pretty stuffy. Okay, there we go. That opens us up for more airflow. Okay, so, welcome to the continuation of this Amenton. I've waited so long to say that. Alright, so here's what you need to know. This is going on to my channel. Publicly. Yes, you heard that correctly. I am tired of doing the pretend stuff. I am sick and tired of it. I know that I made the announcement that I would be signing off and I would be leaving you, but that's just about to change. And that did change just now. So, I am going to be continuing to do these meetings, these recorded meetings, although they will be up on my channel, just so you know. Because I cannot tolerate any more unlisted videos that I make, and I'm really sick and tired of holding myself back. Alright, so, if you would just give me a little bit of time so that I can grab a couple bit more things, and I'll be right back in just a moment, and then I can really initiate what I'm doing here. So just hold on a moment. Alright, so, okay, so I've gotten what I've needed. What I need, anyway. So, continuing on. 1, 2. Alright, so, now, I'm going to go through some announcements, and then I'm going to get into some content and some material with all of you. I know this is a really, really confined space. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of room for a lot more people. But I can see there's a lot of people up there. Up at the screen looking down, so that saves me. So, does this feel exciting to do? Yes. Does it feel scary? And, a little bit nerve-wracking? Yes. But I don't really care what people think of me. And I'm not going to limit myself. And I'm not, I really don't want to put a filter upon some of what I'm doing is private and some of what I'm doing is public. I'm tired of it. So I've already explained that over and over, and I'm not going to do it again. So there is really no turning back now. So now, what is going to be going on for this week? this week, astrologically, we have the sun moving into Libra. Now, this is where I can share some astrology with you. And I don't feel like I have to confine myself just because some videos are unlisted and some videos are public. Um, and I'm probably one of the few people that is doing this and putting it online, but so be it. I'm in Aries, the North Node is in Aries, and if I'm the only one, then I'm the only one. I am not going to, again, feel like I'm doing something wrong. Anyway, I shouldn't have to explain that. I mean, my Mercury is in Taurus, so any risks that I take are like, nothing. So, anyway, we're starting off this week. Tomorrow is Sunday. Now, the astrology for Sunday is a bit of a confusing energy because what we have going on Sunday is we have Venus square to Jupiter. So you should really, really go check out my weekly horoscope for that. I know that this hashtag, you know what, this hashtag, do you need that hashtag? Okay, this is in the way. They're in the way too. You know what, I'm going to move them over there. Just so I have the space. Someone can sit here. It's really frustrating when you don't have a whole lot of space in a room, but you have to do you have to do what you have to do in whatever environment it is. I don't want to hear any complaints about how small this room is. It is what it is, and I'm not here to sugarcoat it. The majority of people are up there watching. So, you already know. I'm going to say it one more time and I'm going to completely drop it after that. I'm going to continue on what I'm doing as normal, as usual, but it will be up there. Comments blocked. Up there. Unposted. Well, I don't know about that. But, yeah. So I just wanted to say that. And I don't want to hear any bad comments about it because I know what I'm doing. And anyway, so moving on, completely dropping that. So we have Venus square to Jupiter. So the conversation of Venus and Jupiter in square aspect, in difficult aspect, in 90-degree, a 90-degree relationship between each other. So there's tension between Venus and Jupiter. So tension meaning that you need to look at what's not working so that you can fix it and change it. That's what squares invite us to do, really. And so Venus and Jupiter squaring is like the two good energies, the two good benefic planets coming up against each other. They're rubbing up against each other. There's friction there. So what that means specifically for this aspect is Venus. If Venus is what you love and what you find beautiful and what you take pleasure in enjoying in your life, and Jupiter is about it just wants to add secret sauce and to everything. And it wants to really turn up the volume in terms of the yumminess and the deliciousness of all the bounty and the abundance of what life has to offer. So Jupiter is fun, and Jupiter is jovial, and then Venus is, love, these two planets coming to square. It can highlight the downsides of both of these two planets. Venus is enjoying pleasure and Jupiter has no off button. There's no boundary with Jupiter. There's no limit to the Jupiterian fun. It's just an ongoing amount of fun. So you have to draw that boundary in place for yourself to say, okay, well, I'm engaging in all of these things. I'm enjoying all these things, but this is where I draw the line. This is where I stop. This is where I say, I'm eating this much sugar here, and I'm done. at this point in time, moderating the indulging in such material pleasures. Um, and whatever the overindulging or overdoing is, that needs to be limited and reined in. So the sort of exercise that I'm going to have you do is for you to take a look around your life. This is where the rubber hits the road. And take a look at what are you overindulging in, and writing me a kind of like a, a real life story, a real life narrative on something that you are overindulging in, and whenever you overindulge in it, and the steps that you're going to take to stop indulging in that thing. And the thing is, from time to time you may indulge in a negative in that thing, and the indulgence doesn't have to be negative, but it is negative when you go overboard with it. So where do you need to rate it in? So that's with this activity, this exercise, that's going to be, of what you're going to do, because you're going to write what the thing is. You're going to get into some just get personal about what is going on in your life, what the indulgence is that you are feeding, and what you're going to do to stop feeding it, and how are you along that process. That's what I want to know, is personal information, those kind of imperfections, and that we're all human beings and we live awesome lives, and no one's perfect, and we continue to go back to those same habit patterns. So that is something to do, and that is going to be due by September 25th. So that's, at 11:59 p.m. You can turn that assignment in to me at that particular time. It's not an email, it's actually something that you're going to write on Google Docs and then hand in on my page. Under the tab for September 17th, you go on my page on the official Minty website, you click under that tab where it says September 17th, indulgence, assignment, written assignment. You click there and then you find a hand in button. It tells you the due date and then you hand it in. You know the drill, MLA font, double spaced, either Georgia or Times New Roman font, or any font that I can read easily. And so that is what it is, and you can find further instructions and information on that thing. So you need the thing that you're overindulging in. First of all, you need, when have you overindulged, and what are you going to do to stop doing that, and how are you on that process? So I think that that's pretty much what I have to explain about that. Moving on to September 18th. So September 18th is going to be the day when we look at Virgo, when we take the sign and the energy of Virgo, and we look at travel. So we're looking at how Virgo functions when it comes to traveling to Rome or Spain, or wherever. So, so that's what we're working with, is how Virgo energy can show up when you're traveling, and certain healthy tips, nutritional tips when you're traveling. And now I would recommend, just to throw some things in there, that when we're traveling and our systems are not working as well as they usually do, next time I travel to a place and I'm going to be gone a long time, I'm going to do a colon cleanse prior to that, to clear things out and to rest my body and my system, so that when I travel and I can indulge and I can do that, then it is 2 millimeters, or however much more of enjoyment. because it's really not fun to worry about when you need to go to the restroom, etc. And do that when you're traveling, because it's just, in my system, being as irregular as it is, traveling does not do it justice. So you're going to be looking at some articles and videos. I have some resources on my page that talk about traveling and some healthy tips and habits that you want to develop when you are actually traveling. And some organizational things where you're going to put your luggage of maybe things like walking when you're traveling a lot, or um, I mean, certain tips that involve health and nutrition, and what basically helps your mental, emotional, physical well-being when you are traveling. So that's what those articles on my page under the September 18th tab deal with. Also, the videos that I have on the videos of the certain clips from a a travel show called The Travel Detective. So that this particular travel show, which I've seen a couple episodes of, it deals with this man travels to certain places. Well, not certain places. It gives travel tips basically. Um, and so things that you really want to nip in the bud and get very clear and crystalline and get into an organized, functional fashion, when you're traveling. So you're going to be exploring that, and then there's some questions. Actually, there's a document, so that I can see that you've seen the videos and read the articles. There is a document that I have made where it takes one article and then asks you a series of questions, which you're going to answer in your own words as you read each article and watch each video. And this document will be due September, the same day as the overindulgence thing on September 25th. So I believe I have covered that. And any questions concerning that? Yes. Yeah. Um, yeah. Again, the fonts, anything that I can read is fine. I'm not, super particular about that. I'm pretty lenient with it. So, I believe that is all. Anyone else have anything to add? Okay. So, following what I was saying about healthy eating, that is the next thing to do about September 19th. Because the focus for September 19th, which is also the day that the sun is making an opposition to Neptune. So it's important to rein in on getting clarity and having a sense of direction as to these are the healthy tips and things that I want in my life. Where self-improvement can be a good thing when you have the sun, which is your ego, squaring Neptune, which can be escapism, and you're viewing your reality through rose-colored glasses, basically. And so, with difficult aspects to Saturn Neptune, self-improvement is a good thing. Not perfectionism, self-improvement. So, like, the sun was square to Neptune last December. The sun was in Sagittarius, squaring Neptune in Pisces. Self improvement. And that's so huge. Yeah, we're not talking about perfectionism. I could equate perfectionism to smoking, drinking, all those kind of things like that. Self improvement's different though. It has a different vibration and different meaning, which is far more positive than perfectionism and becoming a perfectionist. And I mean, there's good things about perfectionism. there are positive things about that. There's a silver lining to perfectionism, yes. But you have to have Piscean energy and the higher vibration of Virgo energy. You cannot have the lower vibration of Virgo. You need to accept who you are and love who you are, and know that you are enough, while still with that frequency of peace and love for yourself. Still, okay, well, what can I do to change this up while acknowledging that it's good the way it is at the same time? So you're not doing it out of a compulsive feeling of lack and feeling of I should be doing this more, this is not enough, this is not perfect. That kind of thing is perfectionism, and that kind of way of being I don't want to continue to be in my life. And it is unhealthy if in excess, especially, which is why perfectionism should be thrown out the window. So, when it comes to what you're doing for September 19th, there is actually a healthy eating, a healthy foods dinner, and it's so opportune that it would be this way because the astrologer Steve Judd, if you follow Steve Judd, he announced that he would be doing some a live gig of some kind where he would be teaching on astrology, on various things involving natal charts and aspects and all those kind of things like that. And then there would be a healthy Indian lunch during those couple of days. And I'm going to get into some stuff about Oracle Pulitzer Virtual here in a moment. So Daniel reminded me of that earlier. Okay, so September 19th. So there is going to be, I need you to keep in mind, that Mary Butterfield, or Labimbi Talea is her name. Her Minton title is Labimbi Talea. Her real name is Mary Butterfield. That is the jargon in the lexicon of the Amenton, by the way, is female leaders are called Labimbi, whatever the last name is. Male Amenton leaders are Lopez, whatever their last name is. That is the lexicon. Now, yes. Oh no, no, no. I, no. The comments will be off. Yeah. But I want to do this. But I just don't want to have it be the same narrative over and over and over again. So, anyway, I said I was done talking about that. So, there will be a healthy dinner, a healthy meal with healthy foods that are in season. This is going to be a little bit of Talea Talks Amenton at 6 o'clock. There will be buses that will be taking all of you up there. Okay, it is up, in wherever her, Amenton is. You will be going there and you will be observing several chefs prepare that healthy food. So you'll go, you'll sit in a studio audience, you'll observe the cooking process of what they're making, and then you will then go and enjoy the healthy meal in a room filled with multiple, in a room filled with individual tables, and you get to sit wherever you want, and it's going to be a beautiful evening with a beautiful setup and flowers and a tablecloth and all the ornaments that she has set up and all the decorations and preparation that went into creating this event. So the whole room will be set up, people will be there, there will be live music. Now, the thing about my younger self is I felt jealous when I saw live music. Live music was a no-go for me. But I have a YouTube channel, and I'm out there now, and I, you know, I'm not. I don't feel jealous anymore. Like, okay, well, that's your thing, and I like it. I wish that I could be like you, and I could play that, but I feel good enough in my own skin, and you're performing it for this big of an audience. When after a while, there's going to be many, many, many people watching me and my videos after a while, supposedly. I don't know what the future holds. But I don't feel the same feelings as, of jealousy. There will be live music performed, mix of different songs, and famous singers and dancers will be there, and there's a whole sort of musical arrangement that they prepared. It'll be super exciting while you're eating your meal, and of course they will have eaten ate whatever the term is, their food already. So, they'll be good to go by the time that they need to perform for everyone as you're enjoying your meal. So there'll be soup, salad, an entree. And the interesting thing is, it will be all healthy foods, and fish will be included on the menu because fish is healthier than meat. And when it comes to my meat, it's so interesting because I'm super particular about my, like, if you serve just a slab of steak or beef to me, it needs to be juicy, it needs to be cooked in a way where it's not tough and chewy, and it has to be flavorful. It has to be flavorful because I just if you serve a tough piece of meat, I don't. But so yeah. So the healthy food meal, it's not only the healthy meal, but you will get to experience and have an educational opportunity to learn and observe how these people prepare this food. And then once you see it, you can look forward to how is it going to taste. So it's all going to be farm to table cuisine. It's all going to be in season foods. And then when we're done eating, we're going to, buses are going to come pick everyone back up. You're going to come back to this event, and you're going to go to your living quarters and do whatever you want to do, save for the people that live at their houses. Of course, the buses will be delivering everyone back here, and then you can make arrangements to go back to your house if you drive in a car, or if someone picks you up and is going to deliver you back home, you're going to get a ride home. Whatever it is, you do, figure it out. That's your deal, not mine. Yeah. So that is all that I just want to talk about concerning Tuesday. Now on Wednesday is Summer and Art. It is the birthday of a English teacher at the middle school here in Indianola, Indy. So that is sort of in association when I'm thinking about Tinkerbell and the Lost Treasure and that song, When You're Alone But Not Alone, which I'm thinking of right now. So let me just find it here. When you're alone but not alone, you will find help at an arch of stone. That. Then it goes on. So the focus for today is looking at certain scenes. You're going to be there's going to be on September 20th. You're going to be watching the film Tinkerbell and the Lost Treasure, I believe it is. And that's going to be all that you're going to do for that particular day. And then also you can add in learning about elements of theater, which is going to be resources on my page, and there's going to be a document with questions that you're going to go through. And it's actually a web quest. You're going to get a document, you're going to get a series of questions, and you're going to go to those sites that are linked, and you're going to read and learn and answer those questions about elements of theater, such as types of theater, costume design, all those kind of things like that. So that resource will be on there, and that is going to be due September 27th. So that due date is listed there. You can find this assignment under the September 20th tab. So, yeah. So you're going to go there, find that web quest, answer those questions, read, and just enjoy learning about theater. Now, the movie that you're going to see, Tinkerbell and the Lost Treasure, is a movie that is about, well, what is it about? Well, what happens is this is one of the Tinkerbell movies. Don't make fun of me for speaking that and having an interest with it, who I am. I watched these movies 10 years ago, and they were something that I, enjoyed watching and found interesting at the time. There's nothing wrong with that. So, now when it comes to this particular movie, what happens in this particular movie of Tinkerbell is that she is given a task to keep and preserve I think it's a moonstone, and then her pixie dust fairy friend Terrence helps her create a specter to hold I believe it's the moonstone. And then something happens, they get into an argument, and then Terrence walks out because he didn't, give Tinkerbell what she wanted, or something happened. So he walks out, and then then eventually the moonstone breaks and cracks into many many pieces, and so Tinkerbell has to find a replacement. So one night when she was watching fairy tale theater, there was a sort of map opportunity there for her to go to an island, which she did go to an island, go to some abandoned island, and find a magic mirror in the film also, and a replacement for the moonstone. And so so that's what basically happened. I don't want to give too much away. You're going to see the movie there. To take advantage of this particular day, I might have to throw something else in there too, for another year. So that's going to be it. So there's two options actually. You can see that film, the September 20th, or the Tinkerbell, or you can see a film that I was watching last year on September 20th. The film is called The Little Princess. It's about a girl who's very close to her father, and her dad sent her to a boarding school where he left her because he had to fight the war, and then she got into this environment with a mean headmistress, and what ended up happening was she got her possessions taken away. I mean, so much happens in that movie, and you can see her experience of that if you go watch that film. Both films are in the theater here at my event, and in separate theaters. We have two theaters. So both begin at 7 o'clock in the evening. I just want to alert you about that. And there's snacks and popcorn, drinks, and all kinds of things like that. When we, when you're watching those particular films. Now, September 21st, this particular day that I want to make the focus is watching. There's several Edpuzzle assignments actually that I made for all of you. They are on the analytic degrees. So what you're going to do is you're going to be learning about watching these Edpuzzles about one of them is going to be on analytic degrees in astrology, done by Astrology with Heather. Heather Elon, she talks about analytic degrees, 29th degree in astrology. And then you're going to be seeing somebody who has, I believe, her sun at the analytic degrees of Virgo and also South Node in Virgo. And that is the chef Anne Burrell. So Anne Burrell is the host of Worst Cooks in America, and several cooking shows like Secrets of a Restaurant Chef and I forget, there's another show there she was in. And so you're going to be seeing several videos from her and also learning about the analytic degree. I would do the Edpuzzle on the analytic degree of Virgo first before just going into Anne Burrell's several of Anne Burrell's recipes that she has to prepare. So all those Edpuzzles are going to be due September 27th. So between September 25th and September 27th, that's when things are going to be due here. So that is that. I think that I explained that clearly. And then starting on September 22nd. September 22nd is the autumn equinox. Now, there is going to be a celebration. First of all, there's going to be a celebration at Olympic Gruni's mentioned on the autumn equinox. There's going to be food that is going to be very, fall-like. There's going to be music, musical performances, an art show that will be fall. So there will be, it's going to be this experience where you're going to be going at 3 o'clock. You're going to be starting with the art. And then you're going to enjoy some music after the art. So some music that relates to fall. And then after that, you're going to be eating, whole meal that is, food that is very much fall-like, such as like butternut squash soup and all those kind of rich things like that, pumpkin pie, those kind of things like that. So that will be from 3 to about 8 or something like that, and then as usual, the bus schedule. The buses will pick you up at like 2:45, and you'll have time to get there, and then they'll come back at Hermit, and the buses will pick you up. You'll come back here, and the whole deal with that. So that's going on. I am also putting on a live YouTube event where I discuss the spiritual, astrological, and astronomical meaning and significations of the autumn equinox, the fall equinox, and what it's all about, what it means. I'm also going to plan on doing an oracle reading and maybe meditation for that, so plan on joining me for that. And that's going to be for real on my YouTube channel, I think next weekend is going to happen. I think the equinox is going to be on September 23rd. September 22nd, 23rd, that's the autumn equinox. Basically, when the sun hits 0 degrees of Libra, which is a cardinal sign, so cardinal signs are signs that the sun passes in and they begins the new seasons. They're very initiating. They want to take the lead. They have to get it to go. So that's cardinal energy, basically. Cardinal signs want to be in control. They signed up this life to be in control in some way, shape, or form. Alrighty, so those are your announcements for the week. Any questions concerning any of the information that I just gave out? Okay. So we will see how far we can get into this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch gears a little bit here. And I am going to read, I have this music fan in here. I'm going to read this article. And then I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to read something just a little bit more. I'm going to set a time so that I can stop doing this. I'm going to say about 6:30 when the dinner time is about to happen. Let me see how much I can get through, but at 6:30 I'll plan to call it quits. But before anything else, I know it's warm and I know it's stuffy in here, so let me just open some windows to get a little bit of fresh air and coolness into the room here. Alrighty. So I'm just going to play a little music and then I'm just going to continue. So I'm just going to play a little musical, have a musical break here. I'll make up a song right here and now. Okay, what I'm going to sing is completely made up. Maybe I'm looking so great without me. Couldn't I see far away? Never mind how the world works. Maybe it's time to see. Time for a moment in the sun and the rain. Time for a moment in all of the pain. Sitting back and looking at night and a day. Feeling alive to say. Feeling alive to say. Maybe when we are looking back, we find a way for ourselves that lacks some love, but we need to cultivate. Feelings go against the grain if we know how we judge ourselves, so we must kill away those gremlins, but allow them a seat at the table of life for them to understand kind of boundaries I've drawn. I will draw them. I will draw them in the sand. Okay, so that was the first song, and this song may be just a little bit different. And then after this, I'm going to get to that article. Oh, forget it. All right, let's just get to the article. So I have an article. I've actually made copies of it. You can find those copies. I think that people up there should have copies of it. Maybe you can find copies. I know that there's a table up there where there are copies up there, so the people up there watching, you can grab a copy of this article. And people over here, you should already have it because that was your instructions on the email that was sent out to you. So all of you should have it. So I think that we're good. So the article is called No Museum Left Behind. And maybe I could try singing it. I'll try singing it, and if it's absolutely the weirdest thing in the world, I will stop. Let me just get to where I can see. So I'm just going to try singing this article out loud and see how it goes. Moving through the Barnes Foundation, you feel immersed in a complete work of art. As you do in deep two in the night, in the nave of a Gothic cathedral. The bonds were wonderfully timeless and out of place. The world and the works of art are in sync. Nature trees can be viewed through all windows. The arts of their branches, echoing pictures, arquebus. The only sounds are that of the occasional birds outside. The measured movements of a handful of visitors, the creak of old paper beneath your feet. Artworks blurred and start over. Artworks blurred and flit. Parts of paintings, like flashes of jewels or glimpses of flesh, pull and lure you from one moment to the next. No matter how much you know about the Barnes Foundation, no matter how often you've been told that it houses the most important collection of impressions, post-invasion, and early modern art in the world, nothing, especially too deep, lively in scale, prepares you for the experience inside the museum. Now it's getting weird. So I'm going to continue on reading. Starting with first. So first there is the artwork itself. The catalog is staggering. Albert Barnes acquired old Gold Master Paintings by Cananello Goya, House El Greco, Titian, and Veronese, and important examples of ancient Egyptian, Greco-Roman, medieval, Native American, African, Near Eastern, Middle Eastern, and Far Eastern art. Then there is the collection of modern European works. One of the largest in existence, it includes pictures of Chagall de Hirlon, Daumier, Dufy, Gauguin, Klee, Marguerite, Miro, Pissarro, I can't even pronounce his name, Redon, Result, Signa, and Sisley. Barnes brought 11 works by Degas, 7 that by Van Gogh, 6 by Seurat from 4 Manets, and 4 Monets. Oh my goodness, this is getting too many tiles for me. Okay, so we still have some time to go. Barnes Foundation, yet the Magnificence, one of the largest in existence. I am finding it very, very difficult to do this, and I'm not going to even try. Okay, I'm going to actually end it a little bit early, just because I'm having to force myself to read that out loud, and when I do, I'm not going to do that. So, anyway, that is all for today, everybody. If you have any questions, please email me. My email, as you know, is you know it. You know it. That's personal information. So you know my email. Email me, ask me questions, and also Daniel, Susan, and Linda. Have a great, wonderful rest of your day. Have a great week, and I will see you whenever I need to get work done or whenever I have announcements to give. All right, so make sure that you're on top of the videos and emails that Daniel, Susan, and Linda send you. Okay, because they are the officials. They are, the ones to give the really, in-depth schedules, the documents, and they do all the, real work to, for this event, and I really have to give them credit and, an appreciation for all the work that they're doing. So I just wanted to give them kudos. But anyway, thank you everyone for coming, and that's all for now. You can leave.